Godspeed, John Glenn.
There is the gun, marking the end of the 1954 National Football League Championship game as the Cleveland Browns overpowered.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
My name is Ted Barrows, RA 114-60805. I served in the United States Army during the Vietnam era.
John Calari, served in the Army, World War II.
I am William J. Bill Clark, U.S. Navy, World War II.
Wanda Dillard, Army, Vietnam, and also Desert Storm 1.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant General Mike Farrader, U.S. Army, and I served in combat in Mogadishu, Somalia, and 3 tours in Iraq.
My name is Tom Humphreys. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, and I served during the Vietnam era.
I'm Gary Loxley. I served in the Ohio Army National Guard, Regular Army, and U.S. Army Reserve, and I served during the global war on terrorism.
I'm Linda Bernan, United States Air Force. I deployed in support of Operations Iraqi and Enduring Freedom.
Roger Neff, Marine, Vietnam era.
Dennis Quebe, served in the United States Marine Corps, Vietnam.
Nick Sunday, U.S. Navy, Vietnam.
My name is Dr. George White. I served with the Marine Corps in Vietnam.
Hello, my name is Greg White. I was in the Marine Corps in 1968-69. I served in the Northern I Corps area of Vietnam.
My name is Joe Wildman. I served in the Navy and the Coast Guard from 1983 until 2012.
Paul Zumfeldy, U.S. Army, Vietnam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the class of 2021. My name is Mike McKinney, and I am honored to be your Master of Ceremonies. Because of the ongoing health concerns related to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's virtual ceremony is a combination of several different regional ceremonies taped in various locations this October, all culminating in today's presentation. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
And now it is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, our first honoree is United States Army veteran Ted Barrows of Franklin County. Ted joined the Army upon graduation from high school and served from 1965 to 1968. He was a second-generation member of the 82nd Airborne Division and was discharged as a staff sergeant. For more than 50 years, he has served his community, state, and country as a soldier, attorney, elected judge, and tireless volunteer. Ted received his law degree from the Ohio State University in 1976. As an attorney, he stood out as a Franklin County public defender, an assistant attorney general, and as an assistant city prosecutor. He has been a Franklin County Municipal Court judge since 2003 and is both a member and foundation fellow of the Columbus Bar Association. Since 2014, Ted has worked as the presiding judge of Franklin County Military and Veterans Services, or MAVS, Specialized Docket, a volunteer post where he earned 3 Rise to the Challenge Awards. His passion for veterans is evident in his efforts to rehabilitate at-risk, justice-involved former service members. His imprint on the veteran community includes the Judge Ted Barrows Excellence in Community Service Award, given annually to a graduating Mavs participant for exemplary voluntary community service. Ted also has been prominently involved with the Hilliard Kiwanis Club, serving 2 terms as president. He also has served numerous charities, including the Hilliard Food Pantry, Special Olympics, the Salvation Army, Kaleidoscope Youth Center, and Ronald McDonald House.
Ted enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 74.
Now it is time to honor United States Army veteran David Bauer of Clark County. While serving in Vietnam, David was severely wounded during a rocket attack and returned to Ohio with Bronze Star and Purple Heart medals for his meritorious service. As a result of the attack, David faced many obstacles, but with a drive to succeed, he overcame those challenges and devoted his life to helping others do the same. He visited schools to talk about his experiences and the importance of patriotism. He made a mark in the Clark County Highway Engineer's Office as a volunteer and employee. He supported nearly every patriotic parade, commemoration, observance, and celebration in the greater Springfield area. David was involved in many veteran service organizations, including the Military Order of the Purple Heart, where he served as commander of both Chapter 620 and the Department of Ohio, and helped lay the groundwork for Ohio to become the first Purple Heart state. Additionally, he worked to designate Purple Heart cities, ways, memorials, and military bases in Ohio. In fact, David conceived and fundraised for many monuments registered with the Smithsonian Institute's archives. David was a long-standing force in the Honor Flight Network, serving as a board member and directing the Flags of Our Heroes program to honor veterans who died before taking their flights. He became one of Honor Flight's most effective fundraisers and regularly spoke to students, scout troops, and community groups about the organization. Until his passing in March 2021 at age 74, David never stopped seeking ways to lift up veterans.
An admirable trait befitting the new member of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Our next honoree is United States Army veteran John Joseph Kolarik of Belmont County. John has a long history of serving others. He left high school to help support his parents and 7 siblings on their farm. John also worked as a teenager for Y&O Coal, hauling coal by horse and wagon. In 1944, John served in the United States Army for 2 years, fighting in the Battle of the Bulge and earning numerous accolades. After the war, he began a cab company, opened a produce stand, a grocery store, and a flea market. In 1947, he founded JJC & Sons Excavating Company, which he still operates. In Bridgeport, he replaced the high school football field's concession stand and lighting, developed and maintained a Little League field, and encouraged by his wife Della, built an impressive village fountain. John served as president of the Bridgeport Exempted Village School District Board of Education and was a board member for 14 years. He served as mayor of Bridgeport for 18 years and completed numerous projects, offering his own excavating equipment free of charge and secured millions of dollars in grant money. John's entrepreneurial spirit has served the community with 5 additional Chapter Square businesses, including a laundromat, a car wash, a tanning salon, storage units, and parking rental spaces. He is faithful to his church, his neighbors, and to his family.
Affectionately known as Mayor, John's amazing work ethic endures. He enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 95.
Up next is United States Navy veteran Bill Clark of Lorain County. Bill's legacy as a leader began early. A class valedictorian, he was selected for the Navy V-12 program, which trained officers to command ships replacing the Pearl Harbor fleet. He served 38 years as professional educator and coach, establishing lifelong relationships with students, athletes, and colleagues. After retirement, he transitioned his scientific knowledge to a successful career in the nuclear industry. He moved to Colorado and quickly rose to prominence, chairing a committee to bring fire protection to underserved Pagosa Springs, then became chairman for 10 of his 12 years on the Pagosa Fire Protection District's Board of Directors. Under his leadership, a $2.8 million bond passed, 3.5 new fire stations were built, 12 fire trucks purchased, and protection expanded from 26 to 161 square miles. Bill interviewed World War II veterans about their combat experiences on a local radio station, now archived in the Library of Congress and the National World War II Museum. He led fundraising drives for the National World War II Memorial and was named field captain in Archuleta County, Colorado. For exceeding goals, Bill and his wife of 77 years, Glenda, were invited guests at the National World War II Memorial groundbreaking and dedication ceremonies. He also coached the Pagosa High girls basketball team to its first ever state tournament. A former president of the Naval Mine Warfare Association and editor of the Silent Defenders, Bill continues to bolster his Sheffield Village community and World War II colleagues, visiting shut-ins with Glenda and providing transportation to doctor appointments and social events.
Bill enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 95.
Let us now honor United States Army veteran and Ohio National Guard veteran Wanda Dillard of Franklin County. Wanda is an accomplished executive with experience in community engagement and diversity, equity, and inclusion. She found her calling with her career path that includes the perfect merger of healthcare access and engaging directly with marginalized communities at Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center as Director of Community Development. She demonstrated success in overseeing operations that support all facets of community engagement and development. Shifting our healthcare system and dismantling systemic racism is Wanda's mission. She embraces work that focuses on education, philanthropy, women's equity, and marginalized people of color. She has a proven track record of successfully cultivating relationships with stakeholders, community members, and organizations, as well as local and federal agencies. She serves on multiple not-for-profit boards, task forces, and business associations. Wanda routinely provides counsel to local and national healthcare organizations. She is the recipient of numerous honors and awards for her commitment to dismantling and eliminating barriers to healthcare. Wanda has had a stellar military career spanning from her time as a private to an officer. She was a member of the Women's Army Corps, a company commander for the 684th Medical Company, and project officer for Guard Care, providing health care to Ohio residents. She was instrumental in the Ohio National Guard, working with the Atlanta Buffalo Soldiers to recreate the historical ride of Colonel Charles Young from Wilberforce, Ohio to Washington, D.C. A retired major of the Army National Guard with a lifetime record of service, commitment, and achievement.
She enters the class of 2021 Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Our next honoree is United States Army veteran Michael Ferreter of Franklin County. A 35-year soldier who attained the rank of lieutenant general during his distinguished Army career, Michael has dedicated his post-military life to the support and empowerment of veterans. In 2018, he became the founding president and CEO of the National Veterans Memorial and Museum. This American treasure, located in downtown Columbus, serves as a symbol of both the triumphs and struggles of our military and connects the public to their amazing stories. He also serves as founder and president of the Ferreter Group, a consulting firm that focuses on improving organizations, leaders, and teams to refine organizational effectiveness. Michael is an inspiring speaker who is eager to share his experiences, philosophies on leadership, and even his beliefs in the fundamentals of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, of which he is a third-degree black belt. As the creator and practitioner of hands-on inspired leadership, he produces seminars designed to teach others to achieve and overcome adversity. He serves on boards for the Veteran Golfers Association, the Patriot Art Foundation, and the Links to Freedom Foundation, and supports the Patriot Foundation, which provides scholarship funds for the families of fallen and wounded service members affected by the global war on terror. Michael is a member of Ohio Rolling Thunder and several veterans organizations. He supports the Red Cross, advocates for golf programs for veterans, and is a lifetime member of the 75th Ranger Regimental Association. He was inducted into the Ranger Hall of Fame in 2021 and enters the
Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 64.
Up next is United States Air Force veteran Thomas Humphreys of Trumbull County. From working as a paper boy and janitor to serving as the first CEO of the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber, Thomas has displayed fierce determination to transform his community. As Chamber CEO, he led the Mahoning Valley business community through the demolition or rehabilitation of 49 commercial buildings deemed as blight, and also realized the creation of 28,000 new jobs, nearly $10 billion in new investments, and a Chamber membership that doubled in size to represent 125,000 employees at a noteworthy retention rate of 88%. His efforts on the Bring It Home campaign persuaded General Motors that there was value in the former Lordstown Assembly Complex, leading to the Chevy Cruze contract. He spearheaded Operation SOAR, Save Our Air Reservists to protect the Youngstown Air Reserve Station from closure by the federal government. In 2015, Thomas started the Eastern Ohio Military Affairs Commission, helping grow its economic impact by more than 50%. He was inducted into the 2017 Northeast Ohio Business Hall of Fame. In 2019, the Eastern Gateway Community College dedicated its main health workforce building to Thomas for his part in assisting to establish the campus in Youngstown, Ohio. Thomas has worked with superintendents of local schools, served as vice chairman of the Ohio Board of Regents, found new ways to manage distressed school districts, and developed the Jobs Now initiative to draw qualified workers to his region. An invaluable mentor and a beacon to the Youngstown-Warren area,
Thomas enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 77.
Let us now honor United States Army veteran, Army Reserves veteran, and Ohio National Guard veteran Gary Loxley of Warren County. A lifelong Ohio resident and career public servant, Gary was 18 when he enlisted in the Ohio Army National Guard. He later received a direct commission as an officer in the Army Judge Advocate General's Corps. After he left active duty in 1995, Gary became an assistant prosecuting attorney in the Warren County Prosecutor's Office, where he prosecuted criminal cases and provided counsel to county agencies. 3 times after 9/11, he was mobilized from reserve service to active duty in support of the global war on terrorism. In 2013, Gary began serving as a part-time reserve military judge in the United States Army's 1st and 2nd Judicial Circuits. And that same year, Governor Kasich appointed him as a judge on the Warren County Court, where he helps lead a staff of 9 and supervises 10 deputy clerks of court. He founded a specialized docket known as the Warren County Veterans Court to help rehabilitate veterans who found their way into the criminal justice system. The treatment court has expanded to include 3 other jurisdictions, thereby offering services to previously unsupported veterans. Gary has been involved with numerous military interest groups and local organizations, associations, and committees, often helming key leadership positions. He has given presentations at Memorial Day, Patriot Day, Independence Day, Veterans Day, and National Day of Prayer events. A highly respected member of the community whose military service continues to be a foundation for his success,
Gary enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 60.
The next honoree is United States Air Force veteran Linda Murnan of Greene County. Following military retirement, Linda served as the felony prosecutor in Brown County, Ohio, and then as the executive director of the Kentucky Commission on Human Rights. In 2006, she was selected for a United Nations position in the Netherlands to support the international judiciary in war crimes cases in the former Yugoslavia. She has served in various leadership roles at the American Bar Association, where she helped to pass the Veterans' Choice legislation, presented programs and published articles related to veterans' treatment courts, and assisted judges in establishing them. Linda was the senior international attorney at the U.S. Defense Institute for International Legal Studies, responsible for curriculum and training for civilian and military leaders in emerging democracies. Linda returned to her home in Xenia, Ohio in 2017 and began serving her local community, providing pro bono legal services and advising veterans. She is educated on post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. She sponsored a program to address human trafficking in the casino industry and spoke on the topics of homelessness, poverty, and addiction at the Pontifical Academy of the Social Sciences at the Vatican, where she met Pope Francis. A valued asset and mentor
to her community, Linda enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 69.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree is United States Marine Corps veteran Roger Neff of Hancock County. Roger has made an indelible mark on Northwest Ohio through his enthusiastic leadership. With an innate ability to connect with people and an infectious patriotism, he has volunteered countless hours to bring about veterans' improvements. Roger helped form the Findlay-Hancock County Military Affairs Committee, the Hancock County War Memorial Foundation, and coordinated efforts to have Findlay and Hancock County host an annual Armed Forces Day program, serving in the role of commander for 27 years. He helped establish the Hancock County War Memorial to honor those who gave their all for America. He assisted 3 Toledo air shows, providing vintage military vehicles for static displays. Roger served in the Lou Diamond Marine Corps League of Toledo for 8 years and as the commandant for 2 years, and he helped start the James Joy McClellan Marine Corps League of Findlay and served as charter commandant for 2 years. He helped organize the Ohio Motor Pool Collectors Club, a Sertoma chapter, and a Toys for Tots chapter. He served as an ombudsman for employer support for the Guard and Reserve, working with community leaders to support employees in the reserve components. He served 15 years as a Hancock County Veteran Service Commissioner and 3 years as president of the Hancock County Veterans Council and was a charter member of the Northwest Ohio Honor Flight. He and his wife built a 5,000 square foot museum at their home to show what generations of American military men and women experienced during their service. The Neff Military Museum is open from May through October.
Roger enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 82.
Now it is time to honor United States Army veteran and Medal of Honor recipient Joe Nishimoto of Marion County. Born as a second-generation Japanese American in Fresno, California, Joe was interned in the Japanese relocation camp in Jerome, Arkansas shortly after the outbreak of World War II. His brother-in-law, Sam Ishida, secured his release and brought him to Marion, Ohio, where he entered into military service in 1943. The two served side by side in both Italy and France as a part of G Company, 442nd Regimental Combat Team, which became the most decorated unit in military history, known for their motto, "Go for broke." On November 7, 1944, near La Houssère, France, after 3 days of unsuccessful attempts by his company to dislodge the enemy from a strongly defended ridge, Private First Class Nishimoto, as acting squad leader, boldly crawled forward through a heavily mined and booby-trapped area and assaulted several machine gun nests. For his extraordinary heroism on that day, Joe was awarded the Army's second highest decoration, the Distinguished Service Cross. 6 days later, he was killed in action. Following a review in the late 1990s, Joe's Distinguished Service Cross was upgraded to the Medal of Honor. The award was presented posthumously to his sister, Mrs. Akiya Ishida, by President Bill Clinton on June 21, 2000. Because of this recognition, Joe immediately became eligible for induction into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame once it was determined that he entered service as an Ohioan.
His induction marks the first entry into the Hall of Fame by a Medal of Honor recipient since Navy SEAL Edward C. Byers, Jr.
Up next is United States Marine Corps veteran Dennis Quebe of Warren County. Dennis is a leading presence in the Miami Valley who is generously given to the community. In a career spanning 45 years, he has grown his company, Quebe Holdings Incorporated, to more than 650 employees and a revenue of $150 million. One of the most prominent electrical contractor companies in the state of Ohio, it has earned national recognition as a top specialty company. Dennis achieved this success after serving in the United States Marine Corps and attending the Electrical Apprenticeship Program. He served on numerous electrical industry boards, including 8 years as the National Electrical Contractors Association's president and vice president. He chaired or co-chaired the National Training Alliance, the Academy of Electrical Contracting, and the Electri International Foundation, which helps fund leading research programs in the industry, and currently the National Electrical Benefit Fund. In keeping with the Marine Corps values of honor, courage, and commitment, Dennis has been active in branch associations like the Marine Corps League and the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. He serves on the Dayton Chamber of Commerce Legislative Affairs, where for 20 years he has advocated for the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Dennis has devoted himself to philanthropic efforts, including the annual Marine Toys for Tots program, Habitat for Humanity, the Wounded Warriors program, and the Helmets to Hard Hats program. He continues to give today with Honor Ride 2021, which provides escort services to World War II veterans to memorials and historic landmarks.
Dennis enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 69.
Let us now honor United States Army Air Corps veteran Barry Shillitoe of Montgomery County. Barry's wartime experience, which included witnessing an airstrike on Berlin while being transported to a POW camp, gave him the tools to thrive amidst adversity. After the war, Barry became general manager of the Harris Lincoln Supply Company in Dayton before returning to the Air Force as a civilian employee at Wright-Patterson. Barry then served as a director with Hughes Aircraft and joined the company's principal architect as Houston Fearless Corporation's president and CEO. At the request of the Kennedy administration, Barry moved to Washington, D.C. to start the Logistics Management Institute, where he managed studies on national security and government. Barry subsequently accepted roles as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy and the Assistant Secretary of Defense. He visited Vietnam regularly to ensure that the supply pipeline for U.S. troops was maintained during the war. Soon after, Barry moved to San Diego to become president of Ryan Companies. He formed partnerships with civic organizations in the area, including the San Diego Chamber of Commerce and the Holiday Bowl, which generated substantial educational funding for participating schools. Barry was asked by Vice President George Bush to deliver a speech and award POWs on his behalf. He and his wife Eileen established the Shillitoe Family Scholarship Fund, which provides a perpetual $1 million scholarship and provides $1 million to the University of Dayton through a joint relationship with the Teledyne Corporation. Leaving behind a legacy of leadership, Barry passed away in January 2016 at the age of 95,
and today enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Our next honoree is United States Navy veteran Nicholas Sunday of Franklin County. Nicholas proudly served in the U.S. Navy before continuing his career in public service with the state of Ohio. In addition to contributing as the CFO and Deputy Director for the Office of Community Services in the Department of Development, he served as Regional Midwestern Chair for the National Energy Assistance Directors Board and then as Vice Chair for the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. After retiring, Nicholas approached the Ohio Association of Food Banks to connect veterans with support. Since 2014, he's led the Veterans Comprehensive Assistance Program, linking Columbus area veterans with job training, employment opportunities, legal aid services, and assistance with meeting basic needs. Nicholas developed partnerships with the Columbus VA Medical Center and Clinic, Franklin County VA, the VA Housing Complex, the VA Workforce Program, the Veterans Services Commission, the Franklin County Municipal Court, and the Legal Aid Society of Columbus to address veteran needs. He works with the Franklin County Municipal Court's Military and Veterans Service Docket to develop plans for rehabilitation and to oversee record expungement when applicable. In the past 7 years, Nicholas has served nearly 3,000 veterans, connecting more than 1,400 with Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program resources and nearly 500 with paid employment through coaching and placement services, and ensuring 1,700 received Home Energy Assistance Program benefits. He has partnered with Progressive Insurance on its annual Keys to Success program by nominating veterans with transportation barriers to receive cars, car insurance, and fuel cards.
A champion for veterans in Central Ohio, Nicholas enters the Veterans Hall of Fame at age 71.
Up next is United States Army veteran and Army Reserves veteran Harry Walters of Hamilton County. Born in Fostoria, Ohio on July 4, 1936, Harry attended Marymount High School near Cincinnati, then continued excelling in sports and academics at the United States Military Academy at West Point, where he played football, blocking for Heisman Trophy winner Pete Dawkins and earning honorable mention All-American status. After serving, he began a lifelong pursuit of fighting for military and veteran causes. Harry returned to service in 1980 as Assistant Secretary of the Army for Manpower and Reserve Affairs, and then as head of the Veterans Administration, the VA. As VA Administrator, he advocated for veterans all across the nation. While a CEO at the Great Lakes Carbon Corporation, Harry's efforts to help veterans continued. At the request of President George H.W. Bush, he oversaw the National Victory Celebration held in Washington, D.C., which recognized victory in the Gulf War, the largest American military parade since World War II. He also spearheaded the creation of the Veterans Tribute Bell Tower in Williamsburg, Virginia, and a two-day event to celebrate its unveiling. Harry volunteered as a commissioner on the President's Task Force to improve healthcare delivery for veterans, and in 2006, founded the nonprofit Veterans Coalition Incorporated, which established, in partnership with veteran service organizations, the Commission on the Future for America's Veterans. He also established Harry N. Walters Consulting Incorporated to assist companies with veteran-centric products and services. Until his passing in August 2019 at age 83, Harry sought ways to help the veteran community he loved dearly, a community which now welcomes him
into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree is United States Navy veteran Dr. George White of Scioto County. George is known throughout Southern Ohio for his contributions to medicine and education, his support for veterans, and his overall positive impact on the community. During a 35-year medical career, he served thousands of patients, many with limited access to quality care. At Southern Ohio Medical Center, he introduced new treatments and advanced technologies. As the community's only ear, nose, and throat specialist, he performed surgeries 6 days a week and managed 2 surgical suites. George worked to advance medical education as a clinical professor and mentor. As the first board chair for Shawnee State University, George fulfilled his mission to provide a means of higher education for local students. Through the support of scholarships and an endowment he established to help veterans and their families, George is credited with making a college education possible for more than 18,000 Shawnee State alumni. He and his wife established a scholarship at Marshall University to assist veterans and children of veterans with learning difficulties. Together, they also helped advance Shawnee State University's digital simulation and game engineering technologies programs, now ranked among the top such programs in the U.S. George helped launch a digital history preservation project to connect users to regional points of interest and the historic Portsmouth newspaper project, which involved digitizing more than 160 years of local newspapers. He continues to serve Shawnee State as a trustee, overseeing the introduction of master's and doctorate programs. Proof that one person can make a momentous difference, George enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 80. Now it is time to honor United States Marine Corps veteran Gregory White of Lorain County. Throughout a distinguished career in public service, Gregory has displayed unwavering dedication to the principles of courage, honesty, and integrity. He began post-military life serving as Elyria City Law Director and then served 22 years as Lorain County Prosecutor. As prosecutor, Gregory advocated for child safety and crime victims. A heralded member of nonprofit boards and committees, he co-chaired levy campaigns to improve access to education, including Lorain County Community College's University Partnership, which enables local students to obtain 4-year degrees. Gregory was nominated by President George W. Bush and confirmed by the U.S. Senate as the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio. As the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer in Northern Ohio, he served Ohio's 40 northern counties. Gregory served on the U.S. Attorney General's Advisory Council addressing terrorism, border security, and crime-fighting initiatives. He served as chair of a federal subcommittee considering victim and community issues and as chair of the Federal Executive Board. In 2008, Gregory was selected to fill a vacancy on the federal bench as U.S. Magistrate Judge. During his tenure, he was active on the Executive Committee of the Federal Bar Association and helped establish the Federal Offender Reentry Docket. Upon retirement, Gregory was asked by Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson to serve as the city's consent decree coordinator, assisting in necessary police reforms. He continues to act as a mentor, helping others achieve their educational and vocational goals and improve their communities.
Gregory enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 72.
Let us now honor United States Coast Guard veteran and Navy veteran Joe Wildman of Greene County. Joe has dedicated her life to meeting the needs of others. After retirement from the Coast Guard, where she became the first woman to advance to Chief E7 Fire Control Technician and the first woman commissioned as Chief Warrant Officer in the Weapons Specialty, her desire to help fellow women veterans led to her involvement with the Ohio Women Veterans Advisory Committee, the Greater Cincinnati Women's American Legion Post 644, and the Dayton National Cemetery Honor Squad. Joe has been involved with the Summit County Veterans Stand Down and recently participated in Clark County's Silent Watch to increase community awareness of veteran suicide. At Wright State University, Joe served with the Take Your Daughter and Son to Work program, Move-In Day, the Knitting Circle, and Quilt Show. She also successfully advocated for a silent computer lab. Her efforts within the music program at Troy City Schools resulted in her hire as a tutor and substitute teacher. Joe established the Evening of Strings Founders Fund to honor the memory of the founders of the Evening of Strings program, which brings Miami Valley High School string orchestra musicians together in concert annually. She also provided funds to commission an original composition to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the program. Beyond all this, Joe finds time to regularly serve with the Humane Society of Dayton, provide local veterans and senior citizens with rides to appointments, and perform as a musician in various community bands. Joe enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame
at age 65.
The next honoree is United States Army veteran Charles Young of Greene County. Charles was born into slavery in Kentucky in 1864, but when the Civil War ended, his family moved to Ripley, Ohio, where he graduated at the top of his high school class. He helped pave the way for African Americans in the United States military, becoming only the third African American to graduate from West Point and receiving a commission as a second lieutenant in the 9th Cavalry, the famed Buffalo Soldiers. He became the first black officer in the regular army to be promoted to the rank of captain and led his troops with distinction in the Philippines. Charles later headed the new Military Sciences Department at Wilberforce College. He also became the first black superintendent of a national park when he started work at Sequoia National Park in California's southern Sierra Nevada mountains in 1903. In 1916, the NAACP awarded him the Spingarn Medal for his achievements in Liberia and the U.S. Army. Despite being highly decorated, Charles was forced to retire as a colonel from the Army in 1917. He was recalled to duty with the Ohio National Guard 2 years later and was named military attaché to the U.S. Embassy in Liberia, where he passed away in 1922. At the time of his death, he was the highest-ranking African-American officer in the Army. In 1974, the Wilberforce, Ohio home where Charles was raised became a National Historic Landmark. In 2013, it became part of the National Park System,
Named the Charles Young Buffalo Soldiers National Monument.
And our last honoree is United States Army veteran Paul Zumfeldi of Fulton County. Through a life dedicated to service, fundraising, and advocacy, Paul has made a lasting impact. He worked as an OSU 4-H extension agent, teaching those involved in his youth programs how to navigate life through cross-country trips, team-building exercises, and experiential learning sessions. Paul trained more than 16,000 young people over the course of his career in leadership, youth development, and team building through LSS, Ohio 4-H, and other groups. And his visionary approach to teaching and youth development earned him local and statewide recognition. Over time, Paul expanded his acts of volunteerism by embracing philanthropic opportunities, through which he raised millions of dollars for a variety of causes in Ohio. A survivor of PTS and Agent Orange exposure, Paul embraced a role as an advocate for mental health solutions. Through mentoring sessions, speaking engagements, and radio interviews, he has enlightened others, helping eradicate the stigmas associated with mental health. Paul served as a member and chair of many local organizations, including OMK, American Legion, and several Rotary clubs. In recent years, he chaired a committee for fundraising for a pool in Wauseon and created the Wauseon Farmers Market. In addition, he served alongside his wife as a marriage enrichment leader with the ELCA Lutheran Church of Northwest Ohio and as a trail maintenance volunteer with the Rails to Trails program in Fulton County. A compassionate leader who continues to connect with and inspire those around him, Paul enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame
at age 77.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2021. We are humbled by your service and by your deeds.
I'm Joe Machado, the class of 2018 member of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, and I congratulate all of the members of the class of 2021 who are being inducted this year into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. Welcome to you all.
Hi, it's Kim Frisco, inductee in the 2020 class. So congratulations to our new class 2021. You've done a great job. We appreciate your service to our country and our community.
My name is James Moorman. I'm from Shelby County, Ohio. I am a 2019 inductee into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, and I want to congratulate the class of 2021 for a job well done.
Hi, my name is Ron Chakowski, class of 2019. I wanted to extend my personal congratulations to the class of 2021.
My name is Rick Perales.
I was a state representative. I'm now a Greene County Commissioner, and I'm so proud of this class. What's important about this, and I know most people have heard it, is it's not so much about your record when you're serving. All these folks have great records, whether it's 2, 4, 8, 20, 30 years. It's about what you do after. Because even though you take off that uniform, there is a uniform on you about service. And all these folks have tremendous service to their communities, to their states, and to their country. And I am so very proud of these folks, and I'm so very proud to be a member of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Hey, I'm Paul Haller, Jackson County Commissioner and Hall of Fame class of 2018. I just want to say congratulations to the class of 2021. Great job and continued success, and congratulations.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dana Robinson Street. I was inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame during the class of 2018, and I would like to give a heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. I'd also like to thank you for all that you do for the veterans of Ohio, this country, this state, and this nation. It's people like you that give me the motivation to continue on and continue to serve, and I am so proud to be amongst each and every one of you. Thank you, congratulations, and welcome to the class of 2021.
My dad was David Bauer. He served in the Army and was in Vietnam.
Joe Nishimoto was my uncle.
He was in the Army and he served in the World War II.
My dad was Barry J. Shillito. He served in the Army Air Corps during World War II.
Harry Walters was my father. He was in the U.S. Army. He was Special Forces Infantry, and he served as a special envoy in the beginning of the Vietnam conflict.
I serve as the superintendent of the Charles Young Buffalo Soldiers National Monument. Colonel Young was the first African-American colonel in the United States Army, and he served from 1889 until 1922.
What do you think he would think about all this, being put in the Hall of Fame?
Probably not a whole lot. I mean, those guys did what they did as, you know, hey, that's our job, you know. So I think they would be honored, and no doubt, but I don't think they would think they did anything extraordinary.
He would probably say, I don't think I deserve it. I mean, I was just a grunt in Vietnam. I just did what I had to do.
He would love this and also be uncomfortable with his name being, you know, there are so many other people that deserve the honor over him, but that's exactly why we loved him so much.
We're proud.
Wow. This honor would mean a lot to Colonel Young. In fact, when you look at his pictures, how he signed them represented the way how he viewed his work and the legacy that he will leave. When he signed things during times of peace, he signed it for race and country, because during peacetime, the work that he was doing would benefit his race and his country. During times of war, he signed things for country and race.
What does it mean to you and your family?
It means a lot to us. I think because it's a recognition of what he went through.
It means everything to me. I mean, you know, and not just because he's my father. I'd say this about anybody that you know, done what he did in his lifetime. You know, he deserves it so much. And, you know, I'm so proud of him, you know, I mean, he was my hero.
We were extremely close. And he deserves it. He deserves it. He was an amazing person, and he loved this country.
And now to have him here forever, honored this way, I think is really very an honor of itself.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the Ohio Adjutant General, Major General John C. Harris, Jr.
Hello, I'm Major General John Harris. I'm Ohio's Adjutant General and Commanding General of the Ohio National Guard. And let me say congratulations to our 20 inductees today for your continued contributions beyond your military service. But before I do that, I have to say thanks to the folks who've helped organize this and make this event a great tradition here in Ohio. Director Ashenhurst, thank you so much for what you continue to do beyond your own military service, but for the folks of Ohio, and Susan Green and all the folks who've made this event possible. Thank you so much for that. And to our inductees, congratulations. And I want to thank you for the way you continually represent the Armed Forces of the United States through your contributions, even beyond your military service. You know, we here in Ohio enjoy a great reputation for being a state with a high propensity to serve. The Guard, all the services tend to do very well on recruiting mission here in Ohio, and that's because Ohioans like to serve. And I think one of the reasons that is because people like you have made this a place where military service is honored and it's respected. And it's because of the contribution of people like you that this is a veteran-friendly state. It's a military-friendly state. So thank you for all your continued contributions. It's because of you that our folks, our military members, our Guard members, enjoy a great experience and have a great state to come back to after their military service. I know many of you personally. I know your contributions, and I know your commitment to not only living our military values, but representing those throughout our community. So thank you. Again, for your continued contribution. On behalf of almost 17,000 men and women of the Ohio National Guard, I'm honored to be the guy to be able to say congratulations to each of you, and thank you for your continued service. God bless you.
Now let's welcome the Director of the Ohio Department of Veteran Services, retired Major General Deborah Ashenhurst.
Ohio veterans never stop serving, and our Hall of Fame illustrates that so vividly. Another great example is Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose, who spent more than a decade in Army uniform with the 101st Airborne, served in the U.S. Special Forces as a Green Beret, and is currently serving in the Army Reserves, all while taking on the all-important duties of being our state's Chief Elections Officer. It's my pleasure to introduce Secretary of State Frank LaRose.
First of all, congratulations to this year's class of inductees. You've made your fellow veterans, your fellow Ohioans proud, and thank you for all that you have done to make Ohio the best place in the nation to live, work, and raise a family. I think that it's really interesting how the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame is all about the service that you've given to your community since your time in the uniform. Of course, your service to this country was profound and impactful and meaningful, but it's those contributions that you've made since you hung up the uniform, since your time in uniform was done, that have caused you to be inducted today into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. Again, to each and every one of you, congratulations and thank you for all that you have done, not only in uniform, but in the time since then.
Thank you all for helping us recognize the next class to be inducted into our Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. This is an honor that's about shining a spotlight on people who don't seek such attention. Highly dedicated men and women who are ready to tackle the next challenge and continue in the spirit of service. Now that sounds like someone else I know, and in fact, it sounds exactly like my boss. Governor Mike DeWine has displayed great integrity, a commitment to the law, and a passion for protecting Ohio's families throughout his lengthy career as a prosecuting attorney, state senator, U.S. Representative, Lieutenant Governor, U.S. Senator, Attorney General, and now as our governor. It's been a wonderful experience to work alongside Governor DeWine and Lieutenant Governor John Husted in serving Ohio veterans and military families. It is clear that they hold these military men and women dear, just as I do. It's a privilege to serve for an administration that strives to make Ohio the most veteran-friendly state in the Union, and for people who truly understand the immense impact veterans can have on their communities after they no longer wear the colors of our nation. Therefore, it's my honor to introduce the 70th governor of the great state of Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine.
General Ashenhurst, thank you so very much. One of the many blessings of serving as Ohio's governor is that I have the honor of helping shed light on truly exceptional people, outstanding accomplishments, and acts of compassion that happen every day across this great state. The Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame is an excellent example of all of those things. Each year, the Ohio Department of Veterans Services ushers in a new deserving group of men and women into the Hall of Fame and recognizes them for their service after service. This distinguished Hall of Fame, created in 1992, includes 6 U.S. presidents among its more than 900 inductees, including some of Ohio's most well-known native sons and daughters, such as astronaut John Glenn, astronaut Neil Armstrong, Doctors Arthur G. James, Henry Heimlich, noteworthy Vietnam War nurse Sharon Lane, restaurateurs Bob Evans, Dave Thomas, and even legendary actors Paul Newman and Clark Gable. It's safe to say that this year's inductees are in very good company. But one of the wonderful things about this recognition is that you don't have to be famous for consideration. Every inductee is a reminder that veterans are our neighbors, they're our business owners, they're community leaders, and they're trusted co-workers. I made it clear that one of my goals as governor is to ensure Ohio is the most veteran-friendly state in the country. We're doing all we can to provide opportunities, resources, and benefits to our beloved former service members and their families. We have more than 700,000 veterans in our state, and those in the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame are the best of the best. And these 20 outstanding honorees, representing 5 military branches and 13 different counties. I want to say this directly to each of our honorees and their families. Even though we're not together for a traditional induction ceremony this year, please know that all Ohioans are so proud of you and cherish your service, your sacrifice, your constant dedication to bettering the lives of others. I hope the magnitude of this moment stays with you, and you always know that we have deep gratitude for your invaluable contributions. We admire you so very much. So on behalf of this great state and all who support our veterans and military families, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. As our event comes to a close, we would like to offer a special mention of the nominators of the class of 2021. Your preparation and time in nominating these outstanding Ohio veterans is greatly appreciated, and we simply can't have an Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame without you. Thank you. We encourage all of you watching to consider nominating a deserving Ohio veteran that you know for his or her post-military achievements. The deadline for the class of 2022 is June 1st, and more information can be found at ohiovets.gov. A special thank you goes out to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Executive Committee, as well as the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Foundation for all of their outstanding support. And thank you to all our distinguished guests for joining us, and we would also like to show our gratitude to the many people and organizations that contributed to the success of this year's virtual ceremony, most notably the National Veterans Memorial and Museum, American Legion Post 598 in Kettering, and park rangers of the Charles Young Buffalo Soldiers National Monument. thank you all, and congratulations one last time to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2021.
I gotta say something. This brings tears in my eyes. Look at you people. You people are the one that brought me here, and you people are going to continue to keep me doing what I'm doing. And I'd like to thank them.
It's an honor to be inducted with a lot of great people. Tremendous honor.
Well, being in the Hall of Fame for Ohio, you're standing with side by side with people who've really done some amazing things. And
being inducted with some of those folks.
I mean, how could you ever feel worthy of being, in that kind of company?
I don't know if I measure up, and so it's very humbling.
And I feel there's others that are very much at least as worthy of the honor as I am. So I'm kind of surprised.
I'm deeply honored by being chosen. I'm just delighted with the quality of the persons who have been selected prior to my selection and the ones that are joining me this particular year.
It is really quite an honor, and I'm really humbled.
It made me feel proud, but it also made me feel humble because the award went to me personally, but it should have been shared with all the people who got me here.
Nobody is a one-man show, one-woman show, one-person show. It's all about the commitment and the character.
I'm proud to accept it, but I'm proud to accept it on behalf of my wife and all the people that have been by my side doing all this stuff.
That kind of takes you back and say, wow, other people notice this.
Oh, I tell you what, that shows me with them people, they appreciate the things we do and everything, and what that helps me a lot too, when I see they appreciate help from people like me. There's a lot of good people out there want to help, and when you see that, somebody knows you do this, you do that. So that wants me to do more.
And certainly this recognition today, I would say, provides an impetus for me to do more. And so I look at it not just as a recognition, but also as a push to do more to help others.
It's one of those very humbling things that you never expect. We go through life trying to help people. I think that's what we're all made of. Every day we get up every morning to try to do the best we can. And I think all of us do that. I don't think I'm special. What is special is when someone takes the time to identify the contribution that I made and feel that it was worthy of being recognized. And so it's very humbling to be in that position, and it's very humbling to be able to sit here in front of people and say thank you for allowing me to represent all the veterans of the country.
I'm humbled, I'm honored, and I feel like I'm gonna tear up.
There's so many mixed emotions. I mean, it's such a humbling experience. It's, I see it as being the capstone that encapsulates everything that I've done, after the Marine Corps.
I'm very grateful. I mean, like I said, I didn't go into this, trying to get accolades or anything like that. I did it to help veterans, and, this is just kind of a product doing that.
I do a lot of things quietly, and not necessarily do I do it for recognition, but I do it because of the passion, and it comes from my heart.
The joke is you want your wife to read that citation so she knows, someone appreciates that, and Margie sure does, or your grandkids to hear that you were inducted by people who appreciated the fact that you tried to make a difference in people's lives, and it was noticed, and I believe if you can do, then you should. If you can help, then you should, and if you get recognized, anything I've done is because of the great young men and women who carried me on their shoulders to accomplish whatever our mission was.
It's an honor for me to get inducted in something like that. I'm very proud to be receiving the award.
I'm so humbled and honored at the same time.
It's probably the highest honor I've ever received, and I've received a number of honors.
I think it's a real honor. It's one I certainly appreciate.
It's very humbling. I'm honored, and it just means a lot.
Do you know a veteran who has gone above and beyond to serve your community after she or he served our country? I'm retired Major General Debbie Ashenhurst, and my job is to serve the more than 700,000 Ohio veterans and honor the best of the best by enshrining them in our Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. But I can't do that without you. Please nominate a deserving vet by clicking on the Hall of Fame link at ohiovets.gov. The deadline is June 1st.
Sponsored by the ODVS, aired by the OAB and this station.